Oh, it's good to see you again. Good to be with you. You shall know the truth, said Jesus, and the truth shall make you free. What the does that mean? How does that work? How does that happen? I think I'm starting to find out. So, um, I'd like to share with you from my blog post associated with this a quote that says, "The first mission of the Spirit of Truth is to foster and personalize truth, for it is the comprehension of truth that constitutes the highest form of human liberty." Well, how cool is that? How cool is that? Uh, Very cool. The comprehension of truth constitutes the highest form of human liberty. Okay, well, so what is truth? Truth is, for example, the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man. Uh, an example not accidentally chosen. Often we just say this phrase in a kind of flat way, as though we're expressing a fact. Nothing wrong with facts. They're a crucial element in universe reality, but there's got to be a truth dimension going on for it to really be the spiritual, the living spiritual reality of the gospel that all Urantia is waiting for. Yes, indeed. So this alive, free, thrilling, moving spirit of truth has got to be happening. Now, at one point, the uh, the authors say, human salvation is real. It is based on two realities which may be grasped by the creature's faith and thereby become incorporated into individual human experience. Two realities grasped by faith and thereby incorporated into individual human experience. The fact of the fatherhood of God and its correlated truth, the brotherhood of man. Now, I'm just going to put a little element here. You know, one of these themes can be fact, the other of these themes can be truth. And if we're proclaiming, even if it's just, you know, recording a videotape for spiritual media, if we're not in living touch with the infinitely loved, divinely created, indwelt personalities with whom we're communicating, just kind of off on our own fatherhood of God reveries, the truth of the communication with the other person is not happening. So there's got to be a truth activation there in order for the gospeling to be real. All right, now in the paper on the kingdom of heaven, we read, the master made it clear that the kingdom of heaven must begin with and be centered in the dual concept of the truth of the fatherhood of God and the correlated fact of the brotherhood of man. So, you know, one of these has got to be the truth dynamism, and the other's got to have the factual stability. And the move between those, that's the life of truth. And you remember that line, page 67, right at the top, paper 5, section 4, probably paragraph 2, where it says, sooner or later, God is destined to be comprehended as ... and the life of truth. That life of truth is how that shifting of the illumination of whatever truth we need in our landscape, you know, and truth is revealed mercifully, expressively, by the eternal Son and by Jesus revealing the truth that we need. Always that truth is in touch with our evolutionary capacity of receptivity. So you've got to, you know, the moving back and forth, which one is the active one and which one is the fact one, maybe in the background, or background, foreground can shift here. So, okay, truth. A lot to say about truth. But now I want to get to comprehension, because I'd never comprehended this until this morning. Okay, what is the comprehension of truth? And I'm thinking, oh, you know, the soul is the truth discerning part of man. Yeah, right. And then the mind, especially through the ministry of the adjunct of the spirit of worship, is able to realize, recognize divine values, if we take the description of it provided in the section on cosmic mind. Well, you know, that approach to comprehension will get you a very turgid discourse, but we've got something better today. So, comprehension. We comprehend truth in its many-sided implications, for example, for our own lives. Somewhere, I seem to recall that Jesus, on his travels, stayed overnight with the family and was up teaching them the gospel for 4 hours. All right, if the gospel is just this kind of quick phrase, or, you know, a handful of themes, it doesn't take 4 hours to do that. But in order to make it come to life and to have it touch the individuals and their needs, and to trace those threads of vibrant connection, I mean, now we begin to understand why 4 hours, I mean, that's what allows comprehension. I mean, how cool is that? All right, so as we realize the reality of truth for us, and we begin to act, there's where the liberation happens. So, truth is coherent. End of paper 2. The truths of spiritual experience can be coordinated with the truths of science. That's the coherence between these poles of truth. Remember paper 155, section 1, about truth coordination. You've got the truth of religion, the truth of science. Bringing that together will give you the beautiful wholeness of righteousness, which attracts truth seekers. We all want that. And this is how we get it. Truth is coherent. The truths of the facts that are the major facts in our lives, those are the truths of science. And the truths of the gospel that are talking to those truths of science, and that we coordinate in our decision action. Is this starting to come through? And truth is a name for Jesus. His spirit of truth, he said, is just like me except for my body. Truth is more a who than a what, because if it's life, the life of truth is the way that it moves from one truth to another, from one level to another. Fatherhood, brotherhood, fact, value, what's going on, um, to illuminate our path forward, always in touch with our evolutionary capacity of receptivity. All right, so now I understand what it means to comprehend the truth. And I've got a little bit now for you on spiritual liberty, because that's freedom from and freedom to, and the new life, and see how gorgeously that is set forth in this passage from paper 101, section 6. The faith of Jesus pointed the way to finality of human salvation, to the ultimate of mortal universe attainment, since it provided for, I'll give you the first three. Salvation from material fetters. This is the freedom from material fetters, chains, in the personal realization of sonship with God, who is spirit. Oh, spirit. Sonship with God liberates me from a pleasure thing. Okay. Salvation from intellectual bondage, this kind of heavy philosophy, or whatever the intellectual bondage is. We can be imprisoned in kind of defensive dogma about the fatherhood of God or the brotherhood of man. I mean, so the salvation from intellectual bondage, man shall know the truth, and the truth shall set him free. All right, so that's intellectual bondage. Salvation from spiritual blindness. There I am, kind of blissing out, and there is my beloved wife who needs something, and I am a million miles away. That's spiritual blindness. Spiritual blindness, the human realization, and this is where you wake up to the freedom for the new way of life, the human realization of the fraternity of mortal beings and the Merantian awareness of the brotherhood of all universe creatures, the service discovery of spiritual reality. Look what I didn't do for my wife. And the ministry revelation of the goodness of spirit values. So after we've discovered, we can reveal. May we reveal. And so in my concluding moment here, I want to share a unifying statement of these themes from one of my very favorite quotes. This is the very second to last paragraph in paper 140. The kingdom of heaven consists in these three essentials. First, recognition of the fact of the sovereignty of God. Next, belief in the truth of sonship with God. And third, faith in the effectiveness of the supreme human desire to do the will of God, to be like God. Happy being like God. Good day.